A lot of our attention is now on the upcoming transfer window as the club look to build on this season. So naturally have been linked to a lot of players, and today I thought we will take a look at the 3 players Celtic should sign this summer. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Former Celtic midfielder Peter Grant has opened up on how he would deal with the Hoops losing at Ibrox on Sunday, which would be Celtic's 3rd Glasgow derby defeat in a row this year. Grant, who played for Celtic from 1982 until 1987, is hopeful that Celtic will emerge victorious on Sunday. However, if they don't and lose the game, he is dreading the thought of it. Speaking ahead of the game, Grant believes that if Celtic lose on Sunday, it would take the shine off last week's title win. Comments some may question, but given the last time Celtic beat Rangers in 90 minutes was back in September, a Hoops win is long overdue. He said, "Let me tell you this, I wouldn't be able to sleep right through the summer if you lose that one. It is as much as that. It is the last one of the season. The last thing you want to be going into any break is after losing a Celtic Rangers match. For either team, I don't care who you are. That's how important it is to Celtic. Celtic have not played particularly well in the last 3, even though we won the final. It doesn't matter if you have won the league or not, you have to try and win this game, and please believe me, it will be gut-wrenching if you don't," Grant concluded. Sunday's game ultimately means nothing with regards to the title race, with a 55th league title already secured. However, winning the last Glasgow derby of the season would give Celtic the added bonus of bragging rights. Celtic have been the best team in Scotland for the whole season. However, in the last 2 derbies in particular, they have been well below par. Brendan Rodgers will be looking for a similar performance to the ones the Hoops have shown recently against Dundee United, St Johnstone and Kilmarnock. Sunday will be the ultimate test of whether Celtic's complacency in 2025 is finally gone. And if they do turn up, a few mini wobbles since the new year will be firmly forgotten. Now for the main story, as Celtic have reportedly already set their summer transfer targets, with Scott Burns, a journalist known for his reliable reports on Scottish football, sharing insights on the positions the Hoops are looking to strengthen. Celtic have been consistently linked with a move for Matthias Kvistgården in recent years, but Burns has quickly cooled those rumours. According to his recent reports, Celtic are now prioritising other positions, with a number of areas set to be targeted instead. This shift suggests that the Danish forward might not be on the Hoops' immediate radar, despite some reports indicating that Celtic could look to go back in for him in the summer. While the interest in Matthias Kvistgården has been ongoing, it appears Celtic's priorities lie elsewhere for now. Burns had this to say, "I think it'll definitely be a busy summer, but the information I was given previously was that centre-forward wasn't a priority. It was a right-sided winger, and a couple of midfielders, a central midfielder and a defensive midfielder, that the Celtic recruitment team had put out in recent weeks to obviously attract any availability. So unless they've already got a centre-forward lined up, those were the priorities at that stage," Burns concluded. Burns' comments support what Brendan Rodgers has said before, that Dayson Maeder's impressive form up front has made signing a new winger a priority for Celtic. Burns also pointed out that the club is looking for a right winger, not a left winger, which could surprise some fans. With Maeda doing well as a forward, Celtic are focusing on adding strength to the right side this summer. It doesn't end there though. Midfield looks to be another area where the Hoops are seriously looking to strengthen. After signing Arnie Engels, Luke McCowan and Paulo Bernardo last summer, Rodgers seems keen on bringing in more competition to bolster the squad. This added depth will help Celtic fight on all fronts, especially in the Champions League, where the Hoops will need quality options to compete at the highest level. Finally, it looks like Celtic are trying to sign a player who can share the workload with Callum McGregor. A strong defensive midfielder would give the boys something extra, especially in Europe. It would let McGregor play further forward when needed, while still keeping things solid at the back. This would help the team be more balanced and ready for tough away games. In other news, Celtic loanee Marco Tilio has revealed why he couldn't turn down a move to the Hoops in 2023 despite since failing to make an impact. Tilio is currently on loan at Melbourne City in his homeland until the end of the A-League season. However, that hasn't stopped him from looking back on his move to Celtic fondly. Tilio's future has yet to be decided, but for the time being, he was quick to emphasise he is still a Celtic player, despite being loaned out just 6 months after joining permanently. While his time at Celtic has been challenging, he remains under contract with the club and is focused on his current loan spell at Melbourne City. This is what he had to say. There were a few clubs, and obviously come the end of the season, it sort of narrows down. And speaking to all the clubs I did at the time, I was convinced mostly by Celtic. Obviously, they're a huge team. And yeah, I couldn't give up the opportunity to play for Celtic. So I'm really glad I made that decision at the time. And yeah, I'm still owned by them at the moment. My first day when I got to Glasgow, sort of went into the building, and it's like huge. And there's so many people, there's staff everywhere, there's a lot of players, and there's big players there. So it was sort of frightening at first, because you sort of need to introduce yourself, like, who's this little guy, you know what I mean? I'm just an Aussie that's come in first time, but they're welcoming to me anyway, so it made it a lot easier. But that first day, obviously a little bit of nerves. It's great to hear how lucky Tilio feels about joining Celtic. Hopefully he can return to the hoops and show what he's capable of. However, that seems unlikely right now, given he struggled to get into the Celtic squad before he was loaned back to Melbourne. Despite his tough start, Tilio is staying positive and focused on making the most of his time at Melbourne City, which might give him a chance to return to Celtic one day. But whether he can make his way back into the squad is still uncertain. Tilio seems to be far down the Celtic pecking order for wingers at the moment. However, stranger things have happened, and he is clearly a very talented player. He may look to build on the momentum he's created in his homeland with Melbourne City, using it as a stepping stone to eventually relive his Celtic dream move. Lastly, Celtic skipper Callum McGregor has revealed what he said to James Forrest after the hoops winger became Celtic's most decorated player ever by winning the Scottish Premiership on Saturday, his 26th honour at the club. Forrest made Celtic history by overtaking the legendary Lisbon Lion Bobby Lennox as the player with the most trophies won at the club. McGregor himself, who has played alongside Forrest in the Celtic first team since 2014 before becoming captain in 2021 under Ange Postecoglou, has known Forrest since their days in the club's youth setup. And few know the person that Forrest is better than McGregor. He said, "James was quite emotional on Saturday. I think you could tell and see the emotion in him as well. He was right to feel like that, as what a momentous occasion for everyone, not just him, to go past so many legends of the club and to be sitting up there on his own with that amount of trophies. It was a historic day, and it probably just got the better of him again, and he is human after all. He has dedicated his whole life since he was 4 or 5 years old to have that moment. And when you see someone like that who is so humble and such a nice person to achieve something so big, then you would be a robot not to feel emotional about that. We just shared a hug, and I said to him it was amazing, what an achievement when you think of so many special players that have played for this club, and you're now on your own at the top. It's incredible." Classy tribute as always from McGregor, who would have learned a thing or two about the standards required at Celtic from Forrest when breaking into the first team. It's incredible to think that Forrest made his first team breakthrough a full 5 years before McGregor, with the pair going on to share an unbelievable journey together at the hoops. From academy prospects to two of the most decorated players in Celtic's history, Forrest and McGregor have consistently delivered for the club, doing not only themselves but also their families immensely proud. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comments section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.